his chances. Oh, brilliant goal! A brilliant goal! Remember the name, Wayne Rooney.
Pirlo, ancora Pirlo di tacco, tiro, gol! Grosso, gol di Grosso!
Which Andrea Pirlo will take, and it's volleyed, and it's in! A goal in 50 seconds from Milan. Oh, would you believe it? Paolo Maldini, the skipper, has scored it. Balotelli, Aguero! I swear you'll never see anything like this ever again.
And we're back. Week 3, episode 3, Footy Fans Podcast. Andrew, Santo, and Joe here to talk about some EPL action that happened over the week, as well as some Champions League news that occurred during the week that was pretty crucial for this upcoming season. The Champions League draw happened on Thursday of this week, and we're going to talk about how there might be one or two group of deaths, and maybe have a prediction of the top two teams coming out of each group.
Let's get into it.
So Group A, people were saying that this might be a group of death just because Leipzig has shown a big improvement over their last couple of seasons. But, I mean, there's only one clear-cut group of death, in my opinion. That's Group B.
Yeah, I was having some feelings about Group E. Because, you know, with Bayern, Barca, Benfica, Dynamo, but, you know, Group B is pretty clear cut. It's going to be tough every single game unless some team gets some massive injuries and just completely botches their Champions League hopes, then that's going to be, you know, any one of those teams could finish and get through.
I mean, in terms of competitiveness, like Group B and Group F are the ones I would say, like, I'm not entirely sure who's going to go through, like, probably Atletico and Liverpool. But, like, obviously with the Champions League, you never know. Group F is really, between Villarreal, Man U, and Atalanta, I can't see a clear-cut top two. All the other ones I probably have a good idea. Like, I don't think Group A is the group of death. I mean, City's for sure going through. The only reason Paris wouldn't go through is if, for whatever reason, all their signings don't mesh. But I can't see those two not going through.
Yeah, and if you look at Group B, Atletico, Liverpool, and Porto are all pretty recent champions of their leagues. I mean, Milan has had a bit of a resurgence the last couple of seasons with some crucial signings and just with the new manager being in there and how they've changed their playing style. But they're nothing to slouch at because last year they were even neck and neck with Inter for a good part of the season. And then, you know, Inter Milan just kind of pulled away and they showed that they actually were the the champions to be. But yeah, like Joe said, like Atletico, Liverpool, Porto, Milan, that's a spicy meatball of a group.
I know.
It is.
And like you take I mean, like last season, obviously with Champions League, your home games are crucial because you have like the support of your home fans. And last year that didn't happen.
Yeah.
So, you know, you're going to go into the San Siro and play against Milan at home. You're going to go to Porto and play against them at home, Liverpool at home. Those are going to be huge games compared to what they were last year where there's empty stadiums.
Yeah.
And then you look at the same thing that Joe was also saying too with Group F. Villarreal, Man United, Atalanta, and Young Boys. I mean, take your pick.
I don't know. Yeah.
Young Boys, I mean, clearly are probably the lowest skill side out of the four. But, I mean, Atalanta play a run and gun game. United are kind of inconsistent. They're getting better, obviously, but they're kind of inconsistent.
Yeah.
And then Villarreal are coming off a Europa win and a Super Cup final. And, you know, they could easily sneak away with 9.
That one's going to be interesting.
9 points.
That one's going to come down to like the last day, I think.
Yeah.
It's going to be tough. There's going to be a few draws in that one for sure.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, it's definitely going to be a big one for Pep, I think, where, you know, I don't see, obviously, his job being in any situation, even if he doesn't win Champions League this year. But I just mean that, obviously, this is a competition that Man City's been building to win for for the longest time now.
Yeah.
And they still haven't won. I think last year, personally, I thought that they were going to get away with it when they were going to face Chelsea in the final.
Yeah.
And that obviously didn't happen. So we'll see.
It's turning into a situation where City, like I think Chelsea, because every team has that one team that they just can't beat. Like I remember it was like Germany's vice was Italy for the longest time, even though on paper they were so much better. They just could not do with Italy until they beat them in PKs finally. I feel like City's that way with Chelsea now. Because I look at this, I think City's got the edge on almost everyone. But if they run to Chelsea again, it's like that's always going to be hanging over their heads. Like, oh, we had that run last season where we lost them in the league, lost them in the FA Cup, and then we lost them like that sticks with you and it gets in your head. So that's my one thing about City winning Champions League. Obviously they could lose to anyone, but I feel like they do have to win Champions League soon. Otherwise, it's going to be the same thing with Pep at Bayern. Like some people would consider that a failure, even though he won a bunch of trophies because he never won Champions League with Bayern. It could be a same situation here.
Did he win with Barcelona though, Pep?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
And that's why people always say it's like, oh, can he win Champions League without Messi?
When he joined Man City, obviously he does have all the titles that he's won domestically, but the one that's got away is a Champions League title for Man City. And that's clearly what they've been striving for the last couple of seasons.
I mean, with the squad they have now, though, as particularly if they land a striker, I'm not sure if they're going to before the transfer window closes, but they'll probably sign one in January. I'm not entirely sure who, but if they get a striker, they should win. I don't see why not. On paper, they're probably the best team. I mean, other than Paris, but we'll see how those 5 new players mesh together with the rest of the team. It's going to be tough to go the distance without that chemistry.
Yeah, and obviously coming down to the last couple of days here of the transfer market season, they did try their darndest to get Harry Kane, and clearly that didn't work out. So I think their backup plan was to go for Ronaldo, which again clearly didn't work out.
Yeah.
Well, I heard they wanted Jesus for Ronaldo.
Yeah.
Which to me is nuts. Like, obviously Ronaldo's Ronaldo, but Jesus has a lot of potential. So they're like, we're not going to.
Well, I think in Juventus' case, they were trying to lower the transfer budget, the transfer price.
Yeah.
And get Jesus instead of having a high transfer price and having not Jesus. I think they're just trying to make it enticing, I guess. Yeah. Because Juve was struggling to get rid of him because they couldn't afford his salary anymore.
Right.
They're paying him $500K a week, and they couldn't afford him because his play did decline over the last couple of years, as a whole.
Mm-hmm.
But what I can't understand is how people are still saying how he had an unsuccessful time at Juve, when over 3 years he had 100 goals.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I know.
Can you imagine just going somewhere and be like, oh yeah, let's just sign a striker that's going to get us 100 goals in 3 seasons. It's you don't find strikers like that nowadays. And with him, he's the one person you can probably sign where you're going to get that kind of quality.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And people were calling it a failure because he didn't achieve any Champions League success for Juve, and that's kind of been what they've been missing the last couple of decades. And he's only one man. He's only one player.
Yeah.
And he showed day in and day out the last couple of seasons when he was there that he still is quality, and he still was performing best on that team. Obviously, you had the likes of Chiellini and Bonucci in the back that even though they don't make the headlines all the time, they're just solid players, and they obviously are world-class players.
Yeah.
But when you consider a world-class player to be the one that gets you over the edge and provides for your team and creates for your team and makes your team better as a whole, that's Ronaldo.
Yeah.
And he showed it every single time he played for them. He had 29 goals, I think, last season, and maybe 8 assists.
Yeah.
So that's at least 35, let's just say, chances created that turned into goals.
Mm-hmm.
Where is that coming from now?
Yeah.
Because they didn't replace him.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be tough for them, I think.
I mean, they signed Moise Keane, but obviously you're not going to get that.
They already had Moise Keane.
I know,
They
it's
pulled
so
to
true.
Chelsea.
Yeah.
They had Moise Keane, loaned him to Everton. I think they sold him to Everton. And then Everton loans him to PSG, where he goes on fire with Neymar. Goes back to Everton. I'm not trying to buy him back again for a higher price than what they sold him for.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just poor management, I think, man. Poor player management, financial management.
Well, one thing I heard about the whole Ronaldo thing was a lot of speculation was around his agent, where the whole Man City thing, him going to Man City, was just kind of a play for Man U to react quicker to sign him, and there was never really any interest of him or really any chance of him going to City.
Yeah.
You know, I don't think Man City were particularly like really eager to get him. I think if they could have got him for something that they would have considered kind of maybe a steal, they would have taken him, but I don't think they were going to really heavily pursue him and really, really try to get him.
Yeah. Well, because they do, like, obviously Ronaldo's good, but I don't think that's necessarily the striker they need. Right now, they need someone that's going to be at the club for, like, the next 5 years, probably. You know? So it would be tough to get Ronaldo, probably knowing, you know, he's got, like, 2-3 years left. But no, like, Kane would be ideal because I could see Kane staying there for, like, you know, who knows how long.
Yeah, he's so young enough.
Yeah, so that's the kind of striker they need. So, in thinking about it that way, I don't know if Ronaldo would make total sense. Because, you know, like I said, 2-3 years maybe he'd be gone. They'd have to get another striker probably.
But a lot of the time with City now too, it's kind of like a win now mentality because I think they're starting to get a little bit more pressure from ownership to perform well in the Champions League because they've won domestically everything they can. And like again, like the biggest crowning achievement would be Champions League title. And news coming out a couple of days ago that Pep is actually considering leaving the next couple of seasons. You guys see that?
I did see that.
He wants to go coach international.
Yeah, and I think, I mean, last I heard on that was he doesn't really have any major intentions of leaving in 2023. So he said it's not going to be, this isn't like the start of a long goodbye, where I think his plans are he is going to stay past 2023. But that's just like the latest that I've heard that's come out. We'll see if it actually happens because next thing you know, next year could come and he just decides to go coach an international team. But that's the latest I heard. So we'll see if it actually happens because, yeah, I think he more than anyone is going to be a person that wants to win Champions League with City because if he goes just from Barcelona where, you know, he had one of the best teams ever, wins Champions League, goes to Bayern, doesn't win, goes to City, doesn't win, it might feel like a little bit of a failure to him. So I'm pretty sure he could stay at City till he wins, unless it just gets to a point where he loses the team and the quality he has now and just accepts the loss type thing.
Yeah. I think I could see that happening, especially with the team he has now. Like, was his Barcelona team this good? Like, it was really good, but now,
Iniesta, Xavi, David Villa.
but like, especially in this modern
Puyol.
age, to have a team this stacked, especially with how the transfer market is, like, it would be hard to assemble a team like this. I think ever again. Like,
you think he wants to leave on on a high? Like he wants to get the Champions League title, then leave.
I think there might be a chance, and this is just like pure speculation. If he does win Champions League this season and next season, I think there might be a chance.
Back to back?
No, just I mean, like in one of the next two seasons.
Okay,
if he does win, I think maybe there's a chance he would leave after. But obviously, it's all gonna predicate on him and how well they do.
Yeah, I saw the headline and I was kind of intrigued by it because that came out right around the time that Ronaldo was rumored to go there.
Mm-hmm.
So you're saying how you don't see Ronaldo being a long-term fit. Well, if Ronaldo was to stay for 2 years and Pep was to stay for 2 years, then there's his window.
Yeah.
So I mean, you're gonna get a top-notch, world-class player for his last 2 years. He's 36 years old, Ronaldo.
Yeah.
So clearly his play is going to decline and his skill set is going to get even more depleted more than it is now.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, let's just wait and see what happens when he makes his debut for United.
Yeah.
Because he could just be a firecracker for that team and just set it off, you know?
I know.
Yeah, and honestly, I hope he does. I mean, really, even for the pure thing about sport and just, you know, people pushing the limit, I hope he's 40 and he's still just playing really competitive because it'll just show like, hey, you know, your career is going to last as long as you stay healthy and fit. So hopefully he's on Man U in Champions League scoring goals into his 40s, and it'll just be a win for athleticism and proper health and nutrition overall.
This guy, he doesn't look like he could slow down either.
No.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
Like he trains like a horse. He's built like a horse.
Yeah.
Like I could just see him playing until he's 45. Like
Yeah, he's gonna be Buffon, but in the outfield, just constantly gonna be there. We'll see how many team jumps he has to do before he calls it quits.
Speaking of that, do you think he would? Let's just say he signs a 2-year contract. I'm not even sure what his contract actually is with United.
Mm-hmm.
Signs 2-year contract. He's 38 years old. He still wants to play.
That's what I was just gonna ask. Like, where does he go after Man U if he leaves? I have no clue. PSG maybe.
Like, does he go back
One last
to
dance with Messi?
Does he go back to Lisbon? Does he go back to Portugal?
I could see that. Maybe. Well,
does he make
actually,
an MLS jump?
Not sure.
Yeah, at that stage, it's all about, how you want to end your career and what you want to do, like, next, right? Like, what's kind of your next step is after you're playing. So if he wants to, go into some sort of, I don't know, business branding, I mean, you could do that anywhere, but it would be interesting to see him come to the U.S. for kind of just that notoriety of coming to the U.S. and seeing what happens here. Or he could just go back home and, I don't know if he has plans of being a coach, but maybe going back to Lisbon and doing something. I don't know. We'll see. It's going to be interesting because he's really set the mark for, I guess, fame in football, right? And his name's always going to be floating around somewhere.
Yeah, it's been almost 20 years where it's like been him and Messi synonymous with each other. And clearly Messi left Barcelona to go to PSG this season. Huge news. But Ronaldo, I feel like he has nothing to prove anymore.
Yeah.
Again, like kind of like Messi too. Like he had nothing to prove by leaving Barca to go to PSG. Like he doesn't have to go show his worth still and say, oh, look how good I am still. I can still play. I can still win trophies because we know he can still do that.
Yeah.
So in Ronaldo's case, I mean, it's been some time now since United have lifted the trophy.
Yeah.
So maybe he is going to go there and make an immediate impact and hopefully push him over the edge in their sake. But no, it'd be good to see. I mean, I'm excited.
Yeah.
It kind of sucks that he didn't make his debut today in the match. Going into international break next week, I believe they have Newcastle, I think, on the following Saturday or Sunday. So in about 14 days' time.
That could be it.
It's
probably.
You might see the return of Ronaldo in the famous red of United.
It's going to be quite the reception.
Okay.
It's gonna be good to see.
I think it actually might be an away match though. I'll look it up. I think it might be Newcastle away.
Yeah. Well, whenever the next home match is with United, that's gonna be something to watch. So,
it's at home.
Yeah.
Is it home?
Yeah.
Oh, it is at home. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. There we go.
So here we go.
Saturday, September 11th, 10 a.m. Canadian time.
Everyone watch
Eastern time.
Everyone watch the start of Man U Newcastle. Well, we'll see if he starts or if he comes on.
You see, Messi didn't start today.
Yeah, I saw that.
Did he come on as a substitute?
I think so. Last I saw on ESPN. Yeah, maybe they're just easing him in. Obviously it's Messi, but coming into a new team, you probably got to be eased in. Not sure. Let's see what was the starting lineup?
Neymar, Mbappe, and Di Maria.
Who did he come on for?
Whoops.
Yeah, I guess it doesn't really.
I don't know how it shows that. No, he came on as a sub in the second half.
But yeah, like Joe said, they probably just got to ease him in. And
did go back down? Did Ramos start? Probably not.
Yeah, same with Ramos. And it's
did
just
any others or Donnarumma didn't start either.
No.
Yeah, so they're just kind of going to ease them all in. It's just funny. I was thinking about this the other day with Ramos. With all the years he's played at Real Madrid and the amount of tackles he's probably put on Messi, and now they're on the same team.
I know they've had heated battles.
Yeah, it's one of those things, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you see that everywhere in soccer. When you're playing against someone, especially if you're ultra competitive, and Real Madrid, Barca, it kind of explains itself in terms of the competitiveness. You'll play against someone, obviously super competitive, but then you're on the same team. You're on the same team, right? That's just how it works.
Just to bring it full circle back to the Champions League group stage that we were talking about. Let's do a little predictions, boys. Let's do a little top 2 from each group.
Yeah. All right. I'm going to go with City, PSG for Group A.
I think that's unanimous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Atletico, Liverpool, Group B.
It'll be tight, but I know there's got to be upsets somewhere. But I think that. Yeah, I'll go with Liverpool.
Yeah, I mean, I'll probably do the same. I feel like it might come down to Atletico and Porto maybe in the last game. I'm not sure who the last game is, like who they play.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like that last match could determine Atletico and Porto.
Mm-hmm.
Who goes through there. For Group C, I'm going Dortmund and Ajax.
I would agree.
I'm dropping Sporting Lisbon out of that one.
I would agree with Dortmund Ajax.
I was going to say that too. I mean...
Yeah, they got...
Yeah. I'm thinking about... Because I don't know. I think Ajax will just have enough to go through against. I'm going to go with that too.
That's a good home crowd too.
Yeah.
The Ajax crowd. Group D, gotta go Inter Real Madrid. I mean, it's Shakhtar is obviously. I feel like they've been around forever as like one of the Russian sides that goes through.
Yeah.
And Sheriff is making their debut. Team from Moldova.
Sheriff.
Yeah.
Is that an actual sheriff?
Yeah. I mean, they have another. I think they have a couple other names to their team there.
That's the best.
FC Sheriff Tiraspol.
Well, that's Moldova. The best logo ever.
Yeah, it literally looks like an old school Western sheriff's badge.
Western sheriff star.
Which is pretty funny.
Pretty good.
But yeah, Inter and Real Madrid, I think that could be a unanimous group as well. Group E, Bayern, Barca, Benfica, and Dinamo Kiev.
Yeah, Bayern and Barca, I would go.
Yeah.
Even though, Benfica, I think... Not saying they have a chance to go through. It's just I think they would be a tough team to play against, but I don't see them going through over Bayern or Barca.
Yeah, I agree with that one too.
And Group F.
This is the little spicy meatball group.
I'm going Atalanta United.
Woohoo!
Atalanta does well in Champions League.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
They showed up last year.
Yeah.
They did.
Liverpool was it them they were struggling against Liverpool?
I want to say so, yeah.
I think so.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm feeling Man U via Real for this one.
Ooh, it's our first disagreement.
Yeah.
I mean there's got to be an upset somewhere, and I think this.
I mean, it might be tough only because Man U's playing Villarreal first. Mm-hmm. But that could also play in Villarreal's favor. Because, Villarreal playing Atlanta as their last match.
Yeah, it might come down to that too.
Yeah, so that's gonna be interesting. But I'm gonna go with Villarreal and see. And we'll kind of see how that goes.
Yeah, I'm going to probably have to say United and Atalanta. I mean, I watched more Serie A soccer last year than I ever have. And watching them play, I mean, it's funny. They're one of those teams where if they play like a midfield team or like a late, like a, further back in the table team, they could easily win like 4-0, 5-0. They could pull off like a Man City victory and just destroy somebody because they just attack in droves when they play. But then when they get paired up against, a top 8, top 6 side, it could be like 5-4 or something.
Yeah.
Because just as many times as they can pump them in, they can let them in too.
Yeah.
I think like last year they're either first or second behind Inter in goals for, but they were like in almost the like mid half of goals against.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. So just saying that, I mean, it's going to be an exciting group to watch because I think it's going to be full of goals. But I do think United and Atalanta will prevail in Group F.
Okay. In Group G, going to have to go with Sevilla and Wolfsburg.
Whoa!
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
What a call.
Yeah.
I mean,
What's the
it really
thought process
depends
behind
on
that?
Lille's ability to sustain what happened last year. It should, probably Lille and Sevilla, I would say.
I agree. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sanji going off the grid. Here
Yeah.
for Wolfsburg. I mean, Wolfsburg haven't been in, I think, Champions League in a long time.
Yeah.
So whatever they did last year, obviously, I'm not.
I mean, that's the one thing. It could be just like a momentum thing. It's like,
Yeah.
we're here for the first time. Let's go guns out, nothing to lose. So that could
Yeah.
play in their favor.
Yeah, I'm not too brushed off my Bundesliga
Yeah.
knowledge, but I don't really know how they performed last year.
Yeah.
But they got here. They made it. So that must have been
Yeah.
something. They must have done okay.
Yeah.
Probably, I think it might have been like a 4th place finish. That they might have just snuck in there.
Yeah.
But yeah, sometimes these sneaky sides, they can make an impact.
Yeah. I mean, one of them's going to have to. I don't think it's going to be the clear cut top 2 that ends up going through. It never is.
Yeah.
This one I'm going Lille and Sevilla, though.
And then lastly, Group H.
Yeah.
Probably a unanimous one, I'm going to
Chelsea,
say.
Juve.
Chelsea Juve.
Chelsea Juve.
The Iorio home derby. I was just saying the other day how I feel like for so long Chelsea and Juve never matched up against each other, and then whenever it happened for the first time, there's been 10 games since then in
Yeah.
the last maybe 5 or 6 years. So in the Iorio household, it's always tense times
Yeah,
when they
I can
play, to say
imagine.
the least.
Especially with your dad.
Oh gosh, no, he just gets quiet.
Yeah, you're just hoping Juve can squeeze it out against Chelsea.
Yeah, I mean, whichever way they go through, I mean, I think Chelsea has a good enough squad where even if they did finish second in the group, whoever they play in the next round,
Yeah.
whether it be a Man City or a Bayern, whoever wins their respective groups, I think they'll still have a good chance.
Yeah.
Juve will see. I mean, they've been. I wouldn't obviously call it a rebuild, but they're gonna have to change the way that they play, I think, this
Yeah.
season.
Mm-hmm.
And last year, like I was saying before, Ronaldo was kind of the carrying force of the team. I don't think he was the heart of the team,
Mm-hmm.
because deep down, players like Chiesa and even Morata and some other midfield players, and obviously the defenders with Bonucci and Chiellini, they were the heart and soul of the team.
Mm-hmm.
But Ronaldo was just the X factor that pushed them over the edge.
Yeah.
And with him not being there this year, either some younger players like Chiellini's or Chiesa's 1 year older, Weston McKennie's another year older. You got Ramsey there still, and Artur is hopefully going to be healthy this year, and they can perform better than what they did last year.
Yeah.
Those guys are going to have to step up for Juve
Yeah.
in more ways than one, either defensively, either with creating goals, scoring goals, to try
Yeah.
and fill that void that Ronaldo left behind.
Yeah. Ramsey, I bet he's happy about leaving Arsenal.
Oh
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, Arsenal.
Don't even.
Oh,
Yeah,
Is that
this
next?
was.
Yeah, it is.
yeah. So last early morning game yesterday on Saturday, Man City Arsenal. City 5-0 victors over the Gunners.
Andrew texts us 8:30. You guys watching this massacre? It's no, it's on. We're waiting till later.
Did you guys watch the highlights? Did you end up watching?
I watched the full game.
Watched the full game.
Watched the
Oh my
game,
gosh.
and it was actually interesting. How Arsenal were pressing for the first little bit, and they actually looked good. Play was in Man City's half for 10 minutes, and then Man City go out the field and score. It's okay, they just they took their first chance, and then it was just floodgates open, and it looked like one of the easiest games I think I've not ever seen Man City play, but probably seen them play against a top side.
Is Arsenal top side anymore?
There was just no. Well, no,
Fair.
because there was just no grit after going behind, which you would never see from a top side.
Right.
You pick
Yeah.
any of the other top six, like Tottenham, even Leicester, Wolves, those kind of teams, they will still claw at you even if they go behind.
Yeah,
Arsenal's they lost.
they lost after the first goal in.
Yeah, first 2 goals go in, they're we're done. It was, what was it, 90% possession in the second half for City? I think at one point.
so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Crazy. What is happening?
They lost 5-0 without trying to they're all right, we're down, we're gonna have to press City and take chances and go forward. They lost 5-0 without even taking chances and trying to just really press City and going forward. So it's you didn't even do damage control.
No.
You just
They
got
did get a
thumped.
red card, but
that was evidently
Still.
tough.
Yeah.
I mean, Man City play like they're a man up anyway. with the quality they have. So to them just have an extra guy and just work the ball around you, it's obviously a very, very tough mountain to climb.
Yeah, like from the opening kickoff, the first 5 minutes of the game was the best 5 minutes Arsenal might have played all season.
Yeah.
And then Gundogan scored in the 7th minute.
Yeah.
And then from that point on, like you said, it's just the floodgates opened. And Ferran Torres scored 5 minutes later. The Xhaka red card in the 35th minute obviously really hurt them.
Yeah.
We were just saying how last podcast Xhaka is kind of the only, veteran force, or maybe like the only person that will step up in the midfield and like give somebody shit for doing something wrong.
Yeah.
And he does something wrong.
Yeah, and that tackle was just something
I mean,
else.
that's like I was saying last week, how they need like a Milner on their team, because he has that grit to like get at people, but he's not gonna make a stupid mistake.
Yeah, he's
like
not
that.
reckless.
He's not gonna go like that, knowing it's like I gotta be careful because if we go a man down, like then we're screwed. But like going into a tackle, like it made no sense.
Like a 2-footed tackle like that.
2-footed tackle, like no, like not really in any dangerous area.
Mm-hmm.
It's like
I did miss the initial like live showing of the tackle. Then I saw the replay afterwards, and I told myself, I'm like, just pull 1 foot back.
Yeah.
Like you can still go in with that intensity. Obviously, he did go 2 foot studs up, which is pretty ridiculous. But I mean, even if you went 1 foot in and had like a trailing leg behind you, but you still went in with that veracity,
Yeah.
you might get away with the yellow card.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I don't even think he made that much contact.
No,
But
I
it
don't
was
think
just
that.
like
I think
But it was just
it was
right?
2 feet.
Yeah, there's really not ever a reason I can see where you have to jump into a tackle with both feet.
No, that's insane.
Never.
And
Like,
you
especially
guys-
at that year. Where were they?
They're like
35 yards
like
out
40
from
yards
the
out to the side of the box, both running like towards the touch line, like not
Yeah.
even towards the goal.
Yeah, it was really reckless.
Wait, what?
Really
Yeah,
reckless.
if it was like a last ditch effort or something, like on goal, and like you pulled like a stunt like that, then sure, you can kind of make some
Yeah.
case for it. But yeah, it was completely unnecessary. And then from that point on, like you said, like it's just they scored 2 more goals within 20 minutes, and then Torres again, the 84th, just to kind of rub it in their face a little bit. 5 looks worse than 4.
Five is a lot worse than 4.
Yeah.
But I mean, is this what we should expect from Arsenal now? Going
Well,
forward?
I do get the sense that they're going to turn it around. I think they're too big of a club, and they were missing a lot of guys. I think once everyone gets healthy and they get into the season, I think they're obviously going to start winning games, and I think it's probably just going to be another season where they finish maybe mid-table, probably just in the lower half of the table. I think it's just going to be another one of those seasons. They're just going to have to grind it out. And they're just going to be continuing trying to rebuild, and hopefully they keep some guys and they pick up some new signings that can kind of turn this around for them, because it's not looking good at the moment.
I mean, a team like Arsenal, the fact that their 2 best players, I would say, are Lacazette and Aubameyang. Do you find it strange that they're not playing together at the same time?
Not in a game like this, I would say.
Yeah,
But you rarely see it with Arsenal. You rarely see it happen. I think.
Yeah.
yeah. I
Not
think
sure.
it's just the system they're playing.
Because they were with Emery, they were playing together, weren't they? And it was going well.
I think it was more than Arteta is playing them.
Yeah.
Like, I think there was obviously the time that they would play, because some rare time or a couple games here and there they just overlook or forget about. But under Arteta, I feel like they're playing either one or the other a lot.
Yeah.
And I mean, when you go against City, obviously playing with one striker might be the better idea.
Yeah.
Now you can just drop more bodies back, and the lineup they did put out against City, I think, is a better lineup than what they had against Chelsea in the previous week.
Yeah.
Because that was just, I mean, we checked it out, and it was a bunch of unheard of players.
Yeah. Didn't know who
Young
anyone
kids
was.
making their debut in the first game of the season,
Yeah.
or second game of the season, sorry. And I mean, like this game here, like Odegaard made his official debut as like an official Arsenal player. So he signed his transfer. Kolasinac got in the side this game. Chambers came in the side as well. Aubameyang started. He didn't start last game against Chelsea. He came as a sub.
Yeah.
But I mean, if you're going to show some pushback, I feel like you should start your best squad.
Yeah.
Against the best teams, at least.
Yeah, I mean, I starting with this lineup, I think is okay with Arsenal. When they went down 2-0, you're not gonna get back at City with this lineup.
Right.
So, maybe he could have put on Lacazette, taken off a defender, and it's like, all right, either like that mentality, you're gonna lose 2-0 or 5-0, but you're gonna go at the team and try and get something out of the game. But then you did a straight swap for Aubameyang for Lacazette, and then they just still lost 5-0.
Yeah.
So
I mean, at that point, at least say like, hey, beginning of the second half, we'll do like a high press, even if it's just for like 10, 15 minutes, just to keep them like off their guard, because like obviously that's not sustainable, especially against City. But like at least do it for like a certain period of time and then drop back like after the fact and see if you can like scrap a goal back.
Yeah.
And then it's like, okay, now we'll defend and see if we can hit him on the counter and maybe tie the game 2-2 or something like that. But
I mean, yeah.
there just seemed like no real strategy.
Like, obviously, it's a really tough spot to be at.
Yeah.
Like, you're down 3-0, down a man going into halftime against City.
Yeah.
Very tough. Obviously,
Away.
Arteta did, away. Arteta did the best he could. It was really a no-win scenario after Xhaka got the red card.
What was interesting with City, and I think the commentators kept saying this, like they were crossing the ball like way more often than they typically do. And I don't know if it's just because they were playing Arsenal, knowing like, okay, they don't have tall, strong center backs that can deal with headers, like because at the first 2 goals Gundogan scored, and then the cross came in for Torres, and like no one dealt with it. So I don't know if it was just because they were playing Arsenal, but so many crosses went in, and just even like Laporte and Diaz were just like running at the ball trying to get something on it to score, which I thought was interesting.
Even Bernardo Silva's cross that went through traffic and they scored. I just got through. So
yeah, I think it's a good mix of maybe lack of size for Arsenal, but also I think it's just a lack of team chemistry and skill, just all around skill, because there's no way that Ferran Torres should be left wide open for his last goal that he scored there, that header.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Like, I think it was Holding and Chambers were the 2 center backs there.
Yeah.
I think it was Holding that just completely just overlooked him and like just like he just let him go in behind him.
Yeah, he got into the box, no grab, no nothing. Just got in there, headed it in, no pressure whatsoever.
And I feel like that could be also Pep's strategy, just knowing, because he's a master tactician, right?
Yeah.
He probably just saw a huge weakness in Arsenal's side and said, hey, we can beat them on the wings. Like, we can get past players like Smith Rowe and Saka, who are more attacking minded, I believe.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, Tierney's a young kid that's coming up. He's pretty quick and pretty pacey, but I think he's still a young player that's going to take some time to develop defensively.
Yeah.
And you saw a lot of the crosses coming in from Bernardo Silva's side.
Yeah.
Like, obviously with Gundogan scoring and Torres scoring through the middle. So I think it might have just been Pep saying, okay, we're going to overload maybe the one side. We're going to take advantage of their lack of depth.
Yeah.
And we're going to maybe play through the wings more than playing through the middle, which I think is more Pep's style anyways, too.
Yeah.
Yeah. And honestly, even they were going through the middle too a lot, like on the goal when Ederson had it and gave it, it's a straight pass from his box right to Rodri, and he just ran like through the Arsenal heart.
Yeah, I remember that play.
And they easily just went through and they scored, and it's just like, you don't got to put in a red card tackle like Xhaka did, but you got to do something.
Yeah.
Like Joe show some grit.
His goal is nice there, Rodri's.
Yeah.
That finish.
Yeah, very nice. Just side foot.
Even I was gonna say this. Grealish is just like meshing in, no problem. I think that comes down to Pep. Just like good team, because I feel like even most signings, I don't know if it's because like a lot of players are tired, like Foden and Mahrez and Sterling just need a break, but he's just giving him minutes the first few games. He's just really meshing in well.
Yeah.
He was very good in the box with like intricate touches, getting that final third pass, and really created a lot of chances. So he's doing pretty well so far.
Yeah, I like what I see from him.
Yeah, that's his style of play. Just kind of like fancy little footwork.
Yeah,
and nothing fancy in the sense of like doing step overs and all that kind of stuff, but just quick feet.
Like the pass to Jesus for his goal was like very, very well done.
Yeah,
that was nice.
Yeah, so hopefully he can get some goals under his belt, ones that he means to put in.
Yeah.
Not like last week, and it starts.
He'll still feel like he has to score like a legit goal. That one's like a little.
Yeah, he definitely wants to smash one home in the near future.
He'll get his. I mean, that guy's quality.
Yeah.
Moving on. So, I'm the only one that watched this match, the Liverpool-Chelsea match. So we're gonna do something a little different here on the pod. We're gonna do a little bit of a live reaction to the Liverpool-Chelsea highlights.
Yeah.
I have plenty to say.
Yeah.
The boys, I think, know what happened in the match, but just to
Get some context.
yeah, get some more context, a little more clarity.
Videos.
We'll
At some point.
we're gonna see what happens here in this 8-minute highlight pack for Chelsea Liverpool.
Here.
Good hit from.
Yeah, that's a young kid. He's like 18 years old. This guy, Elliot. His last
Yeah.
name. I think he started the last 2 matches for Liverpool.
All right. I didn't know Zuma went to West Ham actually.
Yeah, that was today.
I was surprised.
Yeah, that was today.
I mean, with who Chelsea have now.
Alexander Arnold just like hunting forward. Here we go.
Cross. This should be a
Here we
goal.
go.
That's
Is that Henderson?
Henderson on his left foot on a cross.
Yeah.
From,
Yeah. That,
Trent Alexander-Arnold.
Man, if
That
he could
too-
finish those chances,
well, I don't think
it
he's
would-
trying to finish. He should have tried to finish. Lukaku. Yeah. Probably the nice header.
Yeah,
Who is that?
21st minute.
Oh,
Kai
Havertz.
Havertz.
What a
Header goal off the
Jeez.
corner. Runs to the near post. Flicks it far post over Allison.
Do you think that was like, oh yeah,
Yeah, we have ads. I
Advertising for
don't have
every-
the YouTube Premium, so we have to go through the ads here.
Do you think he meant to do that?
100%.
To put it in, or just like get it, like touch on
Well,
it?
I
to get-
mean, running near post, it's hard
It-
to try and put
I
it
couldn't
in
tell
from
if it
there.
off his head or his shoulder.
It was head. They showed the breakdown, or they show a closer replay. But yeah, from running
Good
near
run.
post like this, he gets completely unmarked.
Just
Oh,
like who
geez.
was like what?
Yeah, zero
well,
marking.
He definitely tried to hit it
zonal
to
marking?
the far post.
Is it zonal marking? Is that why?
Yeah, there's a lot of players in the 6-yard box trying to mark
Yeah.
space. It looked like.
Yeah. Well done.
Yeah, it doesn't get much better than that.
I mean,
No chance.
Like, look at that. Look at the margin of error.
at that point, you're like, I just got to get a touch on it towards the neck.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it couldn't be tighter of a space.
yeah.
Oh, here we go. Lukaku just being
Lukaku's
Lukaku.
just so strong.
Yeah.
Oh, well done.
Oh, you got to finish.
That's got to be a finish.
Yeah. That's what I mean. Like, Lukaku's pissed. I mean, at 1-0, I think the best teams in the world would have realized, hey, we got to give it to, like, pass that across to Havertz and get the finish. So we can go up 2-0 because that's comes back to haunt you, and then you end up tying the game. I didn't.
Yeah.
All right, so watch this play here.
Oy.
Calamity in the
Brutal.
back.
Jeez.
Oy. Oh, handball.
Yeah.
Probably handball on the line. Yeah. Got to deal with that.
So this is
Brutal.
the play of question.
It's tough,
See,
man.
But, okay, here's.
They go to VAR, and Anthony Taylor, referee, makes the call and also issues a red card for that.
Okay. I'm confused.
So is James. So is Reece James. He's confused as well.
But here's what I've seen so many times where the ball hits the player somewhere on the body and comes up and hits the arm, and it's almost never called as a PK.
I agree.
So I'm super confused because I saw a game before where it hits off like the chest and then it goes off the arm, and they're like, oh, like hand to arm.
Right.
I'm wondering if
it's how he motioned his hand.
Yeah,
Maybe.
I think in this case they were trying to justify why it was a red card. I was losing my mind because I don't think it was red card worthy.
Yeah.
I came out and said penalty, yes, 100%. Because in that situation there, he denied a goal scoring opportunity clearly, and even though it was leg to arm, he had nothing to do with it. He had nothing. He didn't know anything about it. He didn't try and push his arm forward.
Yeah.
They're saying that if it did not hit his arm and it just hit his leg, it would have gone in the net. Like he didn't block it with his thigh in a way that the ball would come out as a rebound. It would have gone in.
Yeah.
So they're saying that his arm clearly stopped the ball from going in the net, which that's their determination of why it was a red, even though he didn't make any effort to play the ball with his hand.
Yeah.
Or with his arm.
I guess I can see the ruling around that because it was just basically like sliding off his thigh and it hit his hand, right? the whole the fiasco there at the end there with Henderson and Mendy too.
Yeah, from that point on, it got heated.
Yeah.
This is a really good match. I mean, I think Chelsea might have had one more opportunity in the second half to try and score, but I don't know the exact percentage number, but Liverpool just pumping.
Yeah.
They were pumping, and Chelsea withstood a lot of pressure,
That's
a
what you
lot
have
of
to do,
scoring
like-
chances.
I mean, that's the difference right there. Thiago Silva puts pressure on Thiago Jota, or however you pronounce his name.
Yeah.
Just
And Thiago came on as a sub. Tuchel made some adjustments.
Yeah,
at
obviously
halftime. He
going
took
man
off,
down.
yeah.
Good
took
strike by
off-
Van Dijk.
Kai Havertz and put on Thiago Silva,
Yeah.
and he also took somebody off. I think it was he put Kovacic on and took somebody else off. I can't remember who it was.
Yeah.
Just to shore up that midfield and defense.
Yeah, because
Yeah, it's getting pumped right now. Ooh.
yeah, definitely sustaining a lot of pressure. Wave and wave after Liverpool attack. It kind of sets the tone for next few weeks, especially a game like this. Red card, top two teams like this just getting super heated against each other.
Oh yeah, for sure. And people were saying like after this match, Chelsea actually showed that they might be a better side than Liverpool because they did withstand all the pressure.
Mm-hmm.
Like I remember some people were saying on Twitter, "Oh, just because Chelsea escaped Anfield with a 1-1 draw, this is good. This is why they're going to win the title this year because they have adversity because they can defend
True.
very, very well."
Yeah.
Mendy's
making a ton of saves.
Mendy played unreal this game. I mean, obviously the penalty had no real shot on. He wasn't expected to save that, but he played lights out. Him and Rudiger were my dual men of the match
Okay.
for this game. I think Rudiger and Mendy just both took control of the back line, and even Thiago Silva when he came on second half, he also played really, really well.
Yeah.
Just clearing a lot of garbage and just making a mess for Liverpool in the 18.
You have to frustrate like your opponent, just like that's what I don't think Arsenal has. Like it's kind of the same situation. And they're just like they're being sturdy at the back, frustrating, like showing some grit, like doing what they can, having a good hold of striker. Bad touch.
Yeah.
This last scoring play that Chelsea has in the 84th minute,
Yeah.
and I was watching it and I said to myself out loud, literally anybody but Kovacic. Like in that situation, anyone but Kovacic could have made a better play on goal.
Yeah.
Bad finish.
Definitely could have been an exciting game to watch.
Just halt. I mean, that's what I mean. Like, before the Chelsea of old would have probably not tied that game.
Right. I know. I totally agree.
There's
There's countless times where Chelsea have been tied going in late into a match against a top side, and they blow an 88th minute lead, or they
Mhm.
are tied and they lose it in the 90th minute or so. I've seen it countless times, and I mean I think under Tuchel they sometimes sacrifice some offensive ability for a better defensive record,
Mm-hmm.
and it really showed last year that defense can win you titles or championships because
Yeah.
in the Champions League final they won the game 1-0.
yeah.
Kai Havertz scored the goal early,
Yeah.
on the 25th minute, whatever it was, and for the next 65 minutes they sat back, they defended well, they also put pressure on City, they played really, really well against them
Yeah.
in all facets of the game, and I feel like Chelsea of old, if they go up early like that, then they're susceptible to getting scored on.
Yeah.
They're going to falter somehow. They're going to try too hard to score. They're going to, under Mourinho, they park the bus too early,
Yeah.
and then they don't allow themselves to score.
Yeah.
So I think under Tuchel, they have a really good balance going.
Yeah. Yeah, and they're, you can even see it in their reaction after the game where they were pumped. They're going to probably chalk this down as a win.
Yeah, for sure.
And it's going to be good for their team. Really, the team morale showing that they can go behind, get scored on, and still maintain. And they created that one chance to score. Evidently with Liverpool having almost twice as many passes as them.
Yeah.
Fair, more possession, 66% possession for Liverpool. But yeah, still withheld it.
I mean, yeah, sorry, go ahead, Joe.
I was gonna pivot, looking at Tottenham. Like Tottenham's doing well.
Yeah.
Remember, like with Nuno. I think there's something there. We'll see how it progresses. Who have they played?
They played
so far?
City.
Oh yeah, City.
City, Watford, and Wolves.
West Ham.
Was it? I'm not sure. Oh yeah, West Ham's doing well too.
Well, West Ham's is second.
Mm-hmm. We'll see. It's gonna be tight. I mean, those like we always talk about. Like it's the top 6 now with Leicester. West Ham's crushing it now as well.
Yeah.
I just signed Zuma as well.
Trying to
That's
shore
what I
that
mean.
defense.
Like the teams now, they're getting like even the top 10. Like you don't know what's gonna happen.
No.
Like teams like that, especially, and that's what I think. Just go back to Arsenal. Like
Sitting bottom of the table.
if City were to play West Ham, they would get frustrated probably. With Arsenal, it's like no frustration whatsoever.
There's no threat. You're not.
Yeah.
You're not scared of Arsenal anymore.
Yeah, that's right. It goes back to what I was saying. Like they need some kind of power. Like even a Zuma or like a Milner or any type of player like that that's going to have some kind of grit like that. You need one of those players. Right now, it's a lot of young youth players, which is good to have, but you also need that experience on your team.
Yeah, I mean the most relatable thing could be just in our neck of the woods is to the NHL comparison would be the Toronto Maple Leafs.
Yeah.
Like I've watching them over the last couple of seasons. They just keep developing youth players, and they don't have a core of veterans that can kind of help them go over the edge. And their criticism a lot of the time was, oh, they're too young, oh, they're too experienced, oh, they don't have enough grit. They, they get all these flashy goals. They get to this, deep point of the season or into the playoffs, and then they can't get over the hump.
Yeah.
So they start to try and bring in older players. They start to try and bring in some veterans that know the game, that have won before. So just in that comparison, that's kind of what Arsenal you think Joe should probably start doing.
Yeah, I think so.
They're hard to come by though.
They are, but
because those players stay.
You got to do it.
Because there's teams that understand the value of those kind of players.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure, you might not Milner doesn't play every game.
Yeah, but
just to have I'm saying just to have him in your
just
squad,
to have guys like
in
that,
the locker room.
Yeah,
it's huge.
Even like Henderson as well, same kind of person.
Exactly. Yeah.
But there's just none of that in the locker room. I think you look at all the top sides; they all have a player like that.
You want to rattle them off?
I'm trying to think. Well, Tottenham, they have Kane, who's probably like that as well.
Yeah.
But we'll see what happens when he leaves. But no, even their defender, like Vertonghen, all those guys. Tottenham's getting to. I remember several years ago, it's like, oh, it's a young team. Now they've kind of stuck together, and they're all. Now they're just super.
Yeah, they're all growing together.
Yeah, which is, we'll see how that develops.
Little side note for Tottenham, Højbjerg is sick.
Crushing.
Yeah.
Man,
He came there, and I honestly was not expecting a lot from him going to Tottenham, and he's actually really impressed me.
Crushed it for Denmark too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When he signed, he came from. Yeah, he was with Southampton for a long time, and before that, he had some stints, in the Bundesliga, a little bit with Bayern Munich, not enough to really make an impact. Went on loan a few times, and he made a home with Southampton. Even before he joined Spurs, I was just watching him some games, this guy's good.
Yeah.
He's the kind of player that would go to Arsenal and make an impact.
Yeah.
Obviously, Tottenham sees a lot of value in him too.
Yeah.
But just the way that he plays, he just kind of shores up the midfield. He just locks it down, and he can contribute a goal here and there too. He's got a good right foot.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But then obviously, with Denmark too, he obviously made a pretty big impact with how they played this year in the Euros.
Yeah, we'll see. Really curious to see how he develops over his time at Tottenham.
He's only 26 years old.
Yeah, still got a lot of time. Really would like to see him just kind of solidify his role there and stick it out. Because Tottenham, like Joe said, they're getting a lot of quality, and now with Kane staying,
yeah, he's.
I don't want to say this is their year, because that's what they said last year, and that's what they say about every team every year that starts off well. And obviously, being three matches in is pretty academic at this point. But once you start getting into Christmas, we're really going to see how things start shaping up.
They're not in Champions League, so
no.
they don't have to really worry about European football. I'm not sure. Like, obviously, they're in Europa. I'm not sure.
I don't think so. I think they finished outside.
I can't remember.
The top
but
6.
If I was them, I would probably don't put maybe too many resources behind Europa League. Just try and focus on the league because,
Yeah, because they do need to win something.
Yeah, they do need to win a trophy at some point.
Because they need to bring home some silverware for the fans. Yeah.
No Europa for Tottenham. So, good point, Joe.
If they just focus on the league, that's probably your best chance to win a massive trophy. I don't think with Tottenham, I'm not sure if we won the FA Cup, if that's necessarily going to cut it. They might probably won't even win that tournament. Because I think really I can only see City is the only team deep enough to win 3 trophies.
Multiple trophies.
They're so probably one of the deepest teams I've ever seen.
So the last match that we are going to hit on is the United and Wolves game. Game finished 1-0 United. Mason Greenwood scored in about the 80th minute or something like that. Maybe a little after 75th minute. It's a goal that I think I saw coming from him. He had a lot of chances this match, but other than that, I mean, there wasn't too much that happened. I think it was a lot of midfield kind of battles.
Mm-hmm.
People were saying that Pogba wasn't playing that well, and some of the midfield players weren't playing that well for United. I think though, the overall performance from the team, that they probably did deserve the win, because I think they did have more chances than Wolves did. But that being said, when Ronaldo comes in 2 weeks' time, what do you boys think the impact's going to be like?
It's hard to say, but I think knowing Ronaldo, it's probably going to be just more of the same from him. It's going to come in, be a poacher in the box, start scoring goals, and it'll just be interesting to see how much better he makes everyone else around him. Because obviously you have tons of new faces since Ronaldo was last on Man U. Basically a completely different team. So it's going to be interesting to see how much better everyone else gets around him if he has the impact that he can have. I really don't see him tanking, if anything. So I think that'll be really interesting to see.
Yeah, I mean, with particularly the relationship he has with Bruno, and obviously they have Cavani. He's obviously really, really good. I think this gives them another dynamic they can use, a really good power striker, number 9 type figure, really good in the air, obviously. I think it's just a good option to have. I think he'll probably get 20 goals this season at least. Like Salto said, I don't see him tanking, but we'll have to see how he meshes with the team. It'll be interesting to see how he gets managed, by the staff and things like that. If they can get the best out of him, I think that'll be key as well.
Yeah, he played a Solskjaer too, eh?
I know. That's what I was meaning. How's Solskjaer gonna manage him?
Yeah, it's kind of funny. I think it was probably 2000. I think Ronaldo came there in 2003. So Solskjaer's still there for a couple more years. So yeah, it'd be kind of fun to see how they play together and then gets managed by him. But yeah, no, I agree. I think the dynamic he's gonna bring is something that I feel like a lot of United players strive for. You see Martial and Rashford try and take players on a lot of times 1v1, and I think they obviously have a high skill set, but they can't always beat the player sometimes when they try. And I feel like a player like Ronaldo, even though he is, like we said, falling back in age a little bit, I think he's still such a dominant presence. You know what I mean? If it was me, I'd be scared shitless to see him stand in front of me with the ball at his feet. I'm what's this guy gonna do? He's gonna screw me up. I'm gonna be on a YouTube video. I'm gonna be on some highlight reel or something.
Oh yeah,
by getting dummied. So I think that just that overall presence that he brings, plus the skill set, plus the maturity, plus just the experience that he brings to the team, because they are still a relatively young team, United.
Yeah.
They have players that have been there for a little bit now. Pogba's kind of becoming more of a senior player.
Yeah.
But when he shows up, he's going to really show his presence and really hopefully take a couple of players under his wing maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know if like that's totally the mentality he has. Like he still is for himself. He's still Ronaldo. Like he's still he have a huge ego. So I don't know if he's in the coaching stage of his life right now, where he's gonna like lecture people and teach people. But I think overall, like, just his presence in the locker room, I think it's gonna make the team play better.
Yeah. Well, actually thinking about it, just you talking about that, I think he's actually going to bring that element that they actually need. Like we've talked about the leader figures before. I don't think, obviously, a lot of people on that team, especially like Pogba, a few others, Maguire, they have a lot of experience and they're obviously leaders and they want to win every single game. But I think Ronaldo, having been on Man U in their prime, Real Madrid, like part of the Galacticos, winning a ton of trophies, being part of Juve where like you have to win the title. I think he's going to go to Man U and it's like hold people accountable. It's like, guys, we can't like lose games. Like when you talked about Sir Alex Ferguson, it's like, oh, we lost one game, we can't lose another one. I think he's going to bring that, accountability to everyone else. It's like, you guys were losing. Like we already lost the game this season. We have to go out and win the second half. I think he's going to bring that because all the other teams he's played for are teams that have won the league like consistently. So I think that kind of standard he's going to bring in the locker room is going to be key as well.
Yeah, how he plays and how he expects himself to perform, I think he's going to, like you said, kind of make the team rally around him too. And it's like, this is how I play. This is how I know how to win. We have to play like this.
And you can't really argue with him either, right?
No, because he can back it up. I mean, like he's won everywhere he's been.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you can't argue with what he preaches in the locker room or what he tells you on the pitch.
Yeah, absolutely. It's gonna be interesting to see for sure. Looking forward to it.
All right, you guys got anything else to bring up here or talk about?
I think that's it.
Yeah, I think covered everything.
All right, I want to thank you guys for joining us here on the Footy Fans Podcast. As always, like and subscribe. You can catch us on Twitter at Footy Fans Podcast. I think it's called Footy Fans Podcast. We just changed it recently to Footy Fans with an S. Also, you can catch us on YouTube.
Here we go.
With I believe we just search Footy Fans, right? That's what I think it is. Footy Fans, PHANS. As always, enjoy the beautiful game, and we will catch up with all of next week's action.
Ciao, everybody.
See you, everybody.
Cheers.